everyone, this is Maki. The Freedom Gundam is a mobile suit that truly symbolizes the Gundam Seed series. Its designer, Mr. Kunio Okawara, said it represents his entire body of work. It's a masterpiece, no doubt about it. Now, in the movie Seed Freedom, the newest version of the Freedom has appeared, the Rising Freedom Gundam. Its pilot is naturally Kira Yamato. The Rising Freedom Gundam serves as the main mobile suit for the international peacekeeping organization Campus and plays a major role in the story. Today, we will analyze the performance of the Rising Freedom Gundam. Since this mobile suit has an incredible amount of information, I plan to cover it in several episodes. In this episode, we'll focus on its development background, design philosophy, and the mysteries surrounding its engine. Attention, everyone! This is an emergency message from the campus quarter. We are now commencing the mission to apprehend Colonel Miko, who is wanted internationally. Please cooperate with the Black Knight Squad of the Foundation Kingdom to ensure the mission's success. They're extremely skilled pilots. You can count on them to have your back. Hit the subscribe button to activate the valuable fish-shaped armor. Click the like button to launch. Ring the bell to unleash the high-mat full burst. Complete the mission to bring everything to a close. Good luck out there! Campus, an international peacekeeping organization, was established under the leadership of Kakao as her head of the nation of all. Jointly founded by the Earth Alliance branch, and all it functions across national boundaries to preserve peace worldwide. After two large-scale wars, both the Earth Alliance and France suffered catastrophic damage to their military strength. They no longer had the financial resources to produce and maintain large quantities of military equipment. Although highly advanced technologically, Orb was still a relatively small nation compared to vast entities like the Earth Alliance. However, since the wars had severely weakened all the major nations, Kakao was able to seize the initiative. Thus, Campus was born, and the Rising Freedom was developed as its mainstay mobile suit. Developed around the same time, the Immortal Justice shares the same frame and design concept as the Rising Freedom. These units were created as multi-role machines capable of adapting to a wide range of combat scenarios by switching out equipment based on the situation. There were even plans to mass-produce the Rising Freedom and the Immortal Justice and use them as the core strengths of Campus. Since Campus operates beyond the framework of any single nation, its primary mobile suits must be capable of stable performance in space and on Earth, as well as travel between the two environments. They needed to develop extremely high-performance mobile suits that could take on numerous enemies with only a few units, while still being able to move freely between different combat zones. Additionally, if these mobile suits were to be mass-produced, they needed to be operable not only by elite pilots like Kira, but also by standard pilots. To meet these highly demanding requirements, all of the Earth Alliance and France collaborated to develop the Rising Freedom. To enable atmospheric re-entry and high-speed long-distance travel, they adopted a transformation system into mobile armor mode. This mechanism was based on the design data of the Muvasame, Wolf's primary mobile suit. As of this episode's production, the connection between the Rising Freedom and the Eclipse Gundam from Sea, Eclipse, remains unclear. The Eclipse Gundam, also developed by Orb, is a high-performance transforming unit whose design incorporates data from the Freedom Gundam. It wouldn't be surprising if the two were connected technologically. Plant's technology served as the primary foundation for the weapon systems. Some of you might be wondering, did the Earth Alliance not participate in designing the Rising Freedom? According to Gunpla instruction manuals and other sources, the Rising Freedom's basic design is based on Norse Murasame, and its weaponry was developed by plant companies. However, upon closer inspection of the weapons, signs of Earth Alliance technology involvement become apparent. Let's start with the head-mounted Vulcan guns. They are officially named the Cross-Defense Machine Cannon Shell Fan Block 7. The model called MMI is typically used by plants minus military industries. However, this weapon's naming convention follows the Earth Alliance's style. Now, let's focus on the pet name or nickname system. For example, the Freedom Gundam's head Vulcans are called the mechas 76mm cross-defense machine cannon. Plant's naming pattern puts the pet name first, followed by the caliber and weapon type. In contrast, the Earth Alliance names its weapons in the opposite order. The Strike Gundam's head Vulcans are named the 70mm anti-air automatic Vulcan gun turret system Migosteleng. The caliber and classification come first, followed by the nickname. Additionally, the term block is often seen in Earth Alliance weaponry designations. For instance, the 105 Dagger continued to undergo upgrades after entering combat, and is known to have reached the Block 7 stage in its development. Therefore, it's possible that while Maya's military industries led the development of the Rising Freedom's head Vulcans, they received technical cooperation from the Earth Alliance. The Beam Saber is also named the Belshina Beam Saber. The word Belshina is Russian and means summit or peak. The Eurasian Federation's language is used in the name. In the film Seed Freedom, it is stated that the capital of the Eurasian Federation is Moscow. Although the Eurasian Federation is part of the Earth Alliance, the Atlantic Federation actually took the lead in forming Compass. Regarding this name, it is safe to assume that the Earth Federation used common standards and technology. Zaft's weapons usually have Latin or English-based names. They have never used Russian names. Therefore, it's reasonable to conclude that the Earth Alliance contributed technical support to the development of Rising Freedom's weaponry. The details of the engine installed in the Rising Freedom remain unknown. This is a hot topic of debate among fans. One aspect that is often discussed is the red particles. This concept was first introduced in the Strike Freedom Gunpla. It describes a phenomenon observed in mobile suits equipped with nuclear engines, such as the Freedom Justice and Strike Freedom. The idea is that surplus energy, not used by the mobile suit, is emitted as particles of light. However, it's worth noting that Gunpla settings are often adjusted later to better align with the ANI. A nuclear engine has the unique capability to generate and use energy independently. This is fundamentally different from battery-powered engines, which can only release stored energy. Thanks to this capability, nuclear-powered suits can handle much more energy-intensive weaponry. To better understand engine characteristics, let's examine some other elements. Focus on the beam cannons mounted on the Rising Freedom's wings. These red beam firing weapons are labeled with a fascinating name. On the cockpit display positron blaster gun. A positron weapon is a powerful beam cannon that uses anti-electrons and is typically mounted on battleships. Due to its enormous energy consumption, it is impractical for standard mobile suits. It has been seen on the Gundam Astray Blue Frame II, but it could only be used when the nuclear engine was operational within the area of effect of a neutron jammer carrier. Therefore, the fact that the Rising Freedom can use a weapon labeled Positron Blaster gun suggests that it is equipped with a nuclear engine. There are other intriguing clues as well. In the official reference book Mechanic and World, Director Mitsuo Fukuda stated that just having a nuclear engine doesn't automatically mean a powerful mobile suit can be built. During the Seed era, battery-powered engines had a significant drawback. They could not store as much energy as nuclear engines. This meant that they could not use many beam weapons. However, by the time of Seed Freedom, battery-powered mobile suits like the Impulse Gundam can use the Meteor unit. In Seed Astray, Units 5 and 6, which had nuclear engines, were equipped with the Meteor. However, Units 7 and 8 are used in Seed Freedom. Units 7 and 8 do not have nuclear engines. Surprisingly, the Impulse Gundam does not enter a phase shift down state after destroying the giant beam cannon Requiem. This means that the Impulse Gundam's battery energy is still sufficient even when fighting at full power using the Meteor. In the Seed era, the Freedom Gundam experienced a phase shift down while training with the Meteor. This occurred when the output of the beam saber was mistakenly increased threefold during a test, causing the energy consumption to exceed what the nuclear engine could supply. In Seed Freedom, the Impulse Gundam equipped with the Meteor successfully destroyed Requiem's outer armor. That armor could not be broken, not even by the Akatsuki's refractive attack against Requiem's beam cannon. It's safe to say that it has greater defensive strength than a derelict colony. This suggests that by the time of Seed Freedom, battery-powered engines had advanced to the point of providing nearly the same energy output as nuclear engines. It is also worth noting that the software system name for the Rising Freedom does not contain the word nuclear. Does that mean it uses a battery-powered engine? There is actually another interesting point. During the battle with the Black Knight Squad, the cockpit display shows a high capacitor meter. A high capacitor is a component that can store a large amount of electricity. During the fight with Shiva, the secondary gauge increases for a moment. This could mean that the Rising Freedom has an internal mechanism that can generate its own energy. However, warning indicators also appear in that scene, so the display may have simply been malfunctioning due to heat overload or another issue. Lastly, nuclear engines carry the risk of causing a nuclear explosion if the mobile suit is destroyed. If the setting is set to disable the neutron jammer carrier in an emergency, there is a chance that a nuclear explosion will not occur. However, if an explosion occurs while the neutron jammer carrier is still active due to some kind of malfunction or accident, a nuclear explosion will naturally occur. In Seed Freedom, Plan Supreme Chairman Lament states that using nuclear weapons on Earth is a betrayal against all humanity. Given that, would they really install a dangerous nuclear engine in the Rising Freedom? This is especially concerning considering that both the Rising Freedom and the Immortal Justice are designed for mass production. After analyzing all this information, there is still no definitive information about the Rising Freedom's engine as of this episode's production. What do you think? Personally, I believe it's entirely plausible that a battery-powered engine capable of storing energy on par with a nuclear engine has been developed. The Impulse Gundam's ability to operate the Meteor unit leads me to that conclusion. That's all for the first episode. Although there isn't much official information available yet, We've uncovered some interesting details by analyzing what we've seen in the story so far. Next time, we'll dive into the features and armament of the completed Rising Freedom. We'll take a closer look at its combat capabilities. What do you think of the Rising Freedom? Compared to the Strike Freedom or the Mighty Strike Freedom, its design might seem a bit understated, but that simplicity is exactly what makes it so cool. Don't you think? It has a similar vibe to the way Guzzy from Char's counterattack. The wing-mounted beam cannons, a shared design element with the original Freedom Gundam, are just plain awesome. I hope you are looking forward to the next episode. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. See you in the next episode.